lighting people, if you've been in the lighting industry for 10 years, 15 years or longer, then you certainly remember the days when product selection for projects probably involved going to a shelf of 3-ring binders or softback catalogs to make fixture selections. Well, over the years, there have been many platforms that have tried to make searching for light fixtures and selecting luminaires an easier process. And one that's gaining amazing traction, popularity, and adoption is LightAZ. So we thought it'd be a good idea to catch up with the founder and president of LightAZ, Lars Christiansen. Lars, hello, and thank you for joining us today for 5 big questions.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on, Al. It's a pleasure.
Great, Lars. For those who aren't completely familiar with LightAZ, could you give us a quick snapshot of what exactly it is?
Well, LightAZ is a platform where we try to make it easier to find, like you said, find, specify, and build lighting schedules, right? It consists of a search engine with logic. It consists of a SKU configurator that is built into that, and a project management tool and communication tool. So those things are the platform from where you can use it on your phone or mobile devices. So if you want to break it down in the categories, the search engine itself has unprecedented search opportunities. We have hundreds of different search categories, from housing depth, driver type, and all kinds of CRI, IP ratings, and so forth. So that will narrow down the search for the user instead of having, have to look at the footnotes and stuff like that. Then you have, on every product, you actually have a SKU configurator built into it. So when you find a product, you can actually go in and you can start building your SKU on the configurator. And it has logic built in, which means that it has the footnotes and the exemptions built into that. So those two are combined into one. Then you have the project management tool, where you can actually, after you pick the product, you can go in and you can save it in a project, or you can send it to the rep. So
outstanding. Sounds feature rich, and really something that could help change change the lives. Might sound overly dramatic, but really just helps people do their work efficiently and better as a result of having those filters.
Peaceful, right? In some areas.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to make sure that you eliminate or make this processes less painful and faster. So.
Yeah, for sure. I know shopping for shoes online with my size 14s have been difficult over the years, but with filters and databases, it's a lot easier today than it was 10, 15 years ago online.
And
so
you can build in small features, right? So when you build a project on LightAZ, it actually it builds the Excel spreadsheet automatically for you.
Yeah.
Or it collects all the spec sheets automatically as well. So there are things there that where technology can go in and help.
So that leads me to the question. So in addition to that, is there anything else? So over the years, we've seen many platforms, or at least a handful of platforms, emerge to try to help be kind of a light fixture search directory. What other features are ones that differentiate you from search directories that people may have used in the past?
Sure. So our approach to these things here was, we looked at the whole process and looked at the friction of the process and see where can we go in and automate, eliminate, or simplify some of those steps without, I would say, compromising the integrity of the creative element there. So what makes us different? One thing is the broad search, of course, but also the unique features. And one of them are, when you go in and you build a project, and you go back to the project later on. Let's say a week or two later, you go in and you open up your project. It will actually notify you if a product has been discontinued or not, right? So it will trace the spec backwards. But also, it will also go in and tell you if a product has been updated. So if the spec has changed, it will tell you the spec has changed and what have changed on the spec. That is kind of new. That I haven't seen.
So I think you and I both got into the lighting industry, not realizing that at some point in our careers that we'll be, working closely with SQL databases or something like that. So when I look at my website or our website, Inside Lighting, we have, 12, 15,000 records in our database. And when I consider what I see on LightAZ and how you have thousands of fixtures that could really, based on permutations, tally up to literally over 100 million SKUs, the feature you just mentioned about getting an alert if a spec sheet or a fixture was updated, that sounds incredibly awesome, but also like, how do you keep it all current? How does that happen?
So over the years, we build software that does these things for us. But we also do have a crew. We have a data team that, with the software, every day updates changes and also links and whatever it could be. So if a product has changed, we actually can go in and determine, does the change just happen on the spec sheet and doesn't affect the combination of SKUs? Or does it, if it does that, then you have to go in and change it in the SKU configurator and in the search engine as well. So yeah, it can be pretty complicated, but
yeah, no, it's definitely complicated, but that's what's going to make your system really valuable, is that it doesn't get out of date.
So. I think people want to find a product that will help them going through the process faster and more efficiently, instead of looking at the spec sheet and find out after 10 minutes it's too deep, the ceiling height is too deep, or whatever it could be, right? So
sure,
this will eliminate some of those things.
So when you look at the ultimate user of this is someone like a Specifier or others who are involved in selecting fixtures and putting fixture schedules together, or just making choices for a project. How do you drive, or what will it take for there to be more adoption of LightAZ in the lighting world?
Well, I think awareness obviously is the key that comes first, right? People have to know we exist. So those things are in motion right now. We're gaining more manufacturers, we're getting more users every day. So we're starting to see that expand. But I think the future Specifier is a lot more digital minded and a lot more mobile oriented. So for them to have an adaptation rate of things like this with search engines, it's a lot faster, I think, than it was previously. They are born with digital search. And so I think they will adapt to these things a lot faster than the traditional Specifier was.
No, that makes sense. And certainly over your career, Lars, you've shown that you know how to help specifiers, in their roles. I know there's where you are in Chicago and other places in the country, I always hear good things about you personally. So you bringing this tool to the table with them in mind is a great match. And when you look forward, doing something like this big undertaking is obviously a huge project, but when you own a website or run a website, it's never updated, it's never done. So what type of future changes, enhancements, or features do you think LightAZ will be offering in the future that it might not offer right now?
Well, I think the lighting industry, when LED technology came to the lighting, it moved the products from being analog driven to be digital solution driven. So you merge a couple of different industries a little bit, and with that, it created a lot of changes. Not only new products came to the market, but also changes to the product. So instead of having an update on your spec sheet once a year, you had one every 3 months now, or maybe every 2 months, because the driver was changing. So all these changes keep coming, and I don't think that's going to stop yet. I think the future will create or will need more of these engines to actually sort out all the different changes that's coming. And I'm sure that we will find ways to eliminate friction and automate some of these things also in the future. And I'm sure there's more on the table too.
Well, it's a fantastic tool. I know that, heck, I've talked with specifiers over the years who are frustrated that, going to Google and searching for 3-inch downlight just provides a whole laundry list of bad results. So being able to drill down by all those attributes, whether it's lumen package, color temperature, emergency options, size, et cetera, it's a fantastic tool for our industry. I hope that people check it out at lightaz.com. Lars, congratulations on your fast start, and I wish you continued success. So thank you for joining us today for 5 big questions.
Thank you so much, Al. It's a pleasure to be on.